Sparkles Vlog, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jasmine and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a highly requested video. A lot of you guys have asked me to do a tutorial on how to do a double axel. So, I have done tutorials on almost every single double jump there is, and if you guys want, you guys can go check those out. And I decided that now it's time for me to do a video on how to teach you guys to do a double axel. So, I also wanted to mention that before we get started with the tips on the ice, there is a video that I made that teaches you guys how to do a double axel off ice, and I will link that video in the description box down below if you want to check that out. Okay, so before we get started, I'm not going to show you guys, but you always have to warm up and do all of your doubles before you start working on double axel, obviously. So, I'm not going to show you guys that, but that is very important because you don't want to hurt yourself. First, we are going to start by warming up a nice single axel. We want to make sure that our axle is nice and big and covers plenty of ice. You want to make your single axle as big as you possibly can. This is very important because you want to feel nice and stable with your single axle before even attempting your double axle. The minimum height needed to successfully complete a double axle is 0.45 in the air. If you are having trouble achieving this height, I would recommend using weights or anything that can add a little bit of extra body weight to you while you are jumping, and when you take it off, it'll help your jumps become nice and big. Once you have achieved a nice, big, and stable single axle, it's time for us to prep our double axle. We're going to start by doing a single axle, and on the landing, we are only going to check out our legs. We aren't going to move our arms, and we want to keep them nice and tight in on our right side. You may want to work on this multiple times because you want to make sure that your landing is nice and stable. You want to be able to balance on your foot without having to use your arms. Something that has helped me a lot with my double axle is to not go on a small, tight pattern. This will make your single axle go into a circle and eventually your double axle as well. For a double axle, we want to have as much height and as much ice coverage as possible. Going in a tight circle takes a lot away from that, so I recommend using a nice and straight pattern. There are many different patterns that you can choose for your single axle, and I would recommend doing whichever one works the best for you. But I personally love doing a nice and straight pattern that helps me jump outside of my circle, and it removes any swinging that I have. This exercise mimics the hand motions for your double axle. When you do a double axle, you always want to jump outside of the circle. It may seem a little scary, but actually if you focus on jumping outside of the circle, you'll be less tilted than if you think about jumping to the inside of the circle. So you want to bring your arms all the way to your right side in this exercise. You won't actually do this while you're doing your double axle because it's actually pretty hard to think about, and it's also almost completely impossible to do a double axle jumping outside of the circle. This exercise just lessens the amount of swing you have on your double axle. Your knee is very important for your double axle. If you think about your knee as a ball, if you swing your arm super far back and you swing it in a circle and just throw the ball, it'll probably either go the wrong direction or it'll just go down. But if you think about throwing a ball, you're going to throw it up like you're throwing it in a parabola. So for your knee, you always want to bring it through on your double axle. You don't want to swing it around because you're going to end up tilted in the air, and those falls are the worst. So you want to bring it through like you're making either an H shape or a 4 shape. For this exercise, we are going to mimic our takeoff with our knee and our arms like I showed you guys, and we're going to step down into a back scratch. We're going to repeat this 2 times, and after the second time, after the back scratch, we are going to do a cross behind and then a step to the side, and we are going to step into a single axle. Now we are going to repeat this exercise with our arms, our knees, and our back scratch 2 times, and after the second time we are going to do a cross behind into a step to the side, and then we're going to do a single axel, and we are going to land in a back scratch with our arms to the right. After you've practiced the other 2 exercises I've showed you guys, now it is time for us to try our double axel. So we are going to repeat the previous exercise that we did, but instead of a single axel, we are going to try our double axel. You want to do your double axel once you feel confident that you can do it. You want to make sure that you have enough height on your single axel that you will be able to rotate your double axel, and just believe in yourself. That's probably the most important part of your double axel, because if you tell yourself that you're scared, it won't turn out as good as if you tell yourself that you can do it. Figure skating is a really mental sport, and I've found that most of the times whenever I go into a jump that I may find is scary or is hard, whenever I tell myself that I can do it, it always turns out better than if I would tell myself that I was scared. I believe in every single one of you guys that is watching this video, you guys can get your double axel. It took me 2 years to get mine to where it is right now, and I know that it's really frustrating and it makes me really angry sometimes when I can't do something that I've been working super hard on, but don't get discouraged. It takes a lot of hard work and effort, but in the end, it is worth it. Once you guys start to feel confident with your double axel, you can start moving it to bigger patterns like I'm showing you guys here. I, again, really like super straight patterns because they help me check my shoulders a lot and prevent me from swinging, because as I mentioned earlier, swinging falls are super painful. So that is why I'm advising you to stay away from swinging. I know it can be a really bad habit sometimes, and it took me a while to break this habit, but once I was able to, my axel and pretty much all my jumps have gotten so much easier to do and land. Now comes the fun part. You can start adding all these fun transitions and all these fun types of jumps to the end of your axel or even before it. And this is a secret between you and me, but in my opinion, axel combination jumps are a lot easier than the rest of the combo jumps. But that, again, is just between you and me, okay? But yeah, I just feel like axel combinations are a lot of fun, and they're probably my favorite to do. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I hope that it helped you guys a little bit with your double axel on the ice, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. I want you guys to comment down below, what jump are you guys currently working on? I'm working on like a couple of my triples. Hopefully I get them soon. And also comment down below if you guys want to see any more how-to videos from me in the future. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Love you guys. Bye!